Hello, I'm Matt.
And I'm Luke. It's been a while. We
Yeah,
haven't done what was it, a few months,
I don't know.
but we're back. I
And
think there's a Donkey Kong song about that, but we insert it here, but we don't know how the Nintendo copyright strike works, so we won't.
yeah, we're finally not sick again this time when we were about to do something like this. So yeah, so we just wanted to talk about The Legend of Zelda for Wii U, and because we're super
Maybe
excited for it,
NX, maybe NX.
probably.
So we're gonna get into our first points here. Do you want to go first?
Well, what do you have to talk about? What do you have to say?
We're gonna go over our hopes and dreams for the next Zelda games, and our thoughts from what we have seen, how we interpret that, how that might end up.
Yeah, but it's not like we're relying on these things need to happen or else it's not going to be a great game. I just expect a Zelda game like Twilight Princess or Skyward Sword or Wind Waker,
Yeah.
like every other Zelda game. If it's like those, if the quality of those, then it's going to be amazing and I'm going to be perfectly happy with it. I'm not going to be over hyped about it or
What
anything.
if it does something that you actually do hate?
I mean, there are things that I don't like in other Zelda games.
Your watch just
I'm
God
sorry.
damn it. There's also something else behind us that's beeping. It might be a bomb, hopefully not. Hopefully that doesn't get picked up. It's just beeping.
I think it's something that needs to be charged or something. I don't know.
Who knows? So the first thing I want to know is in the first trailer they showed the big enemy or field boss type guy come out and start chasing Link, right?
Hmm.
And when that happened, before it happened, it was so quiet and like ambient noise. You heard birds chirping and stuff.
Hmm.
So what I hope to see is we see like a lot of those big enemies in the field, which they kind of said as much is going to be in there.
Yeah.
I hope to see like normally in the field you got Hyrule Field music playing or whatever, and then whenever one of those are getting close and approaching, like the music just stops and it goes into ambient noises and it just sets this environment like, oh, there's a big monster coming after me now.
Well, that actually pulls me into something that I didn't really think to write down. But I actually, you know how it was like piano-y kind of music? Like when in the first trailer we saw, it was like you heard little piano bits and it was all peaceful and everything. And then when the boss came, the piano picked up more. It was still like
Yeah,
piano-y
yeah.
music, but it was really, like you said, calm and laid back and everything, and kind of like ambience. And I really hope that we get something like that because I really enjoy that in like games like Eco where there's not music, it's just you hear the sound of wind blowing or something. I think it actually adds a lot to it, and I would like to see more of that in a Zelda game for a change. I mean, I love
Hmm.
the awesome music that Zelda games always have, and the big grand music or the evil music, whatever it is. I always love that, but I also think it'd be cool to mix in more of that quieter ambience into there. I think that'd be really awesome.
What you just said there also kind of goes into something. I mean, I agree with you there. It also kind of goes into something that I have, someone else I have written down here. You mentioned Eco.
Hmm.
It's one of both of ours like favorite games,
Yeah,
probably in our top five.
and we played it somewhat recently too. We didn't even play it when it was new.
Yeah, so we don't have that same like we played it when we were young bias or anything when it was new. So I mean, my point here is, I really hope it takes inspiration from Eco in the sense that it's like not as like when I played Twilight Princess here. I don't mind like the long opening and stuff. Like a lot of people get angry and like the longer
Hmm.
spacings between the dungeons and stuff.
I wish I'd make a side spin-off game that was just like that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I actually really enjoy that. I hope I really do hope it takes more from Eco in the sense that I want to just be like, here, here's like kind of like shows you out like view of the field for the tile screen. You hit start, and it just goes into like Link sleeping against a tree or something, and you just have to like get up and move. It doesn't tell you anything. It just lets you start moving. I don't want it to be like no story or anything, but I just want it to like open up with like it just not telling you anything. It just puts you into the world, and you get to figure out what's going on at first.
So kind of like how Captain Toad starts. Just the game starts out and just you're moving Captain Toad around, and then a bird
Mm-hmm.
comes and steals the star, and boom! It's just the title screen, and the first thing you see when you launch a game is just Captain Toad, and you walk around.
I kind of want it. I don't want it to be like that, but it'd be kind of funny if it started like, here's Link under a tree. Oh, there's Zelda over there. You walk over and a bird takes Zelda and the Triforce. That's just what put in my mind when you brought that up. And then you get to play Zelda, I guess, if it follows Captain Toad then.
Going back to the big monster attacking that was in that first trailer, that is a really exciting thought to me, actually. If there's going to be boss-style monsters that you encounter throughout the overworld, like that sounds really,
Mhm.
really awesome to me.
Yeah, it really does.
Like Twilight Princess HD released recently, and we've been playing through that. And the biggest thing I remember, and that's just not good about Twilight Princess, I love Twilight Princess, and I'm actually enjoying it so much more now than I remembered in the past. But the boss battles in Twilight Princess pretty much all suck. They're way too easy and way too short, and it's just
Yeah.
you can't really enjoy yourself on it. It's just like just go through the motions and whatever, it's over. I mean, even sitting there trying to get them to do all their attacks and enjoy it more and not just destroy them, they still go by it so fast and they don't have many attacks. I don't know.
Yeah, I also like they need multiple parts and be longer and be more dynamic in the way that the battle unfolds and stuff. I think it'd be great if they put a bigger emphasis on the bosses while still having a great overworld and dungeons.
Yeah, if they can improve the bosses this time, which I think they will, because I think the bosses in Skyward Sword were much, much better than in Twilight Princess.
Yeah, definitely.
But if they
Skyward
can,
Sword had pretty good bosses.
yeah, if they can go even more than that though, and really make it feel good, and have some good boss battles out in the field where you ride Epona and everything, like I really like doing the King Boblin parts in Twilight Princess on Epona. But this time you'll have even better horseback controls, which I mean is another thing that I'm so excited for. This massive overworld with the better horseback controls that they even demonstrate. You don't need to have your hand on the controller at all times. It's not a constant struggle to make sure you don't run into something. You don't need to constantly be steering. Just like in Wind Waker, sail on your boat. You can stop, turn the camera view around, and just look around a little bit. Look down at your map to figure out where you're going. Look at the background and see some goats or something in the background away from where you're actually going. That has me so excited because Wind Waker has my favorite overworld in a Zelda game.
Yeah, which is a very unpopular opinion, I'd say.
I don't care. Screw those people.
Yeah, that's pretty too.
So awesome to explore the Great Sea of Wind Waker and go to every sea chart and every section and find the island in every part of the sea, and it was just so much fun to explore the Wind Waker's ocean, and I just enjoy it so much.
What you brought up about the horse riding,
Mm-hmm.
like being smart horses. Horses are actually smart and know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad to see, because when people are talking about all these other problems in the world, we're not talking about accurate animal representation in games. It's clearly a very serious problem, not very talked about.
Did you see the way that other horse reacted to Epona running into it?
Yeah,
That was really
kind
weird.
of trippy, never mind. I guess we'll sue them for inaccurately representing animals, I guess.
But it's really cool though. Like Twilight Princess had other animals in the overworld, but it'd be cool to actually see some of the other animals, do a little bit more this time. Like in Twilight Princess, you could see little frogs by the pond in Orden Village, and there were birds that would fly away and stuff like that. But the animals really didn't do much of anything. It'd be really cool if they actually reacted to the world a little bit more, which I think they are based on the way, like the goats ran away when the big monster attacked and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I think, I remember when Xenoblade Chronicles X was coming out, that was some reviewers' complaints, was that, like, it was a big world with lots of enemies and stuff, but they didn't really interact with each other very much.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be interesting if they really did take more of an approach like that.
Yeah.
Another thing, in the world, right? Obviously it's going to be a big world, right?
Yeah.
Overworld.
It looks massive.
So, in Twilight Princess, it was so big and there were so many heart pieces they could hide, they upped it up to 5 heart pieces needed for a full heart container, right?
Mm-hmm.
I hope they up it to 6.
That would be amazing.
Because there's going to be so many heart pieces you need. Maybe even more, but up it up to 7 or 8.
Yeah.
That'd be fantastic.
And even if they don't go that far, right? Even if they just keep it at 5 or even keep it at 4, what they really, really need to do, although I think with the world that big, I think they should at least put it to 5.
They need more than 4 at least. I think even more than 5 though.
But what they really, really should do is, again, going back to Wind Waker, you got sea charts in Wind Waker, and you'd follow those sea charts, and you'd find treasure at the end of it. If they could get treasure charts in here somehow, like, oh, you find this treasure chart, and you go here, and you dig it up, or you do something to find the chest there, I think that would be so much fun to have this massive world, and you get the treasure chests that you find around, and then you go to them, because I love doing that in Wind Waker. I feel like a lot of people that are completionists, or even just like doing all that side stuff in Zelda games, should probably... I imagine they all really like that, because I think that's so awesome finding the treasure charts and hunting them down. That's something I really would like to see show up in this one, but I kind of doubt it will.
Another thing, we just watched the initial review trailer before recording this, and the gameplay footage debut that they did at the Game Awards. And in that footage, they mentioned Miyamoto said, "Oh, this area looks suspicious. There must be a dungeon here, right?"
Yeah.
So what I kind of think would be interesting, maybe not, maybe I wouldn't be a huge fan, but what I think would be interesting, we obviously have the idea that they're going to allow us to do dungeons in like any order, in some form or another.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting if there's actually like, take Fallout for example, where there's like vaults that you can go to, and there's a few vaults that are mandatory to go through. There'd be more than just a few in here, obviously. But it'd be also interesting if there were just a bunch of dungeons that were just optional ones you could go to. They weren't even mandatory.
Like mini dungeons.
Yeah, you just stumble upon one, and there you go. You're going through a dungeon. It's just an optional thing completely. That'd be awesome.
Well, I haven't played any Fallout games, but I'm kind of automatically linking that in my head to like finding tombs in Tomb Raider.
Yeah, definitely. That's exactly it.
The Tomb Raider reboot. I didn't play any of the older ones.
Yeah, that's exactly like same thing basically.
I mean, there are already some like little dungeons, not dungeons, little caves you'll find in Zelda games, and like, oh, this one has an ice block puzzle, and this one has a claw shot puzzle, and this one is just lighting torches and there's spiders or something. But those don't. If they actually upped it more and put some more puzzles in them and made it a little thing to go through, that would be really cool. Another thing that would be kind of cool, I really, really, really doubt this because of how big the world already looks, and maybe it's asking for too much, and I'm not really asking for it. I just kind of think it'd be really cool to see another world show up, like a Dark World kind of version of this world, because they're already making such a huge focus on the overworld in this one, you can tell.
Yeah.
It'd be so awesome to see how a Dark World version of that you can explore then. I really doubt they're going to do that because the world is so big and it's probably taking them so much time to just design everything in this world and fill it up, and I'd prefer them to just fill up this one world, but if they could somehow get a second world like that, that would be pretty interesting to see.
Well, you mentioned in Skyward Sword, spoilers for one of the late dungeons, the sky, like, in the heavens, the Sky Temple, whatever it's called. You mentioned that you wished it was a little bit more to up there. It was like an actual village or something. So when you mentioned that to me, I was like, well, it'd be neat if there was like an underworld in a heaven or something like that.
I think you mean Twilight Princess, right? I think you said Skyward Sword. Maybe I'm wrong, though.
There is a heaven in Skyward Sword. Yeah, you're right, Twilight Princess.
I thought you were talking about the temple up in the top of Skyloft.
Look, you all make mistakes, okay? Twilight Princess, the temple in Twilight Princess.
Yeah, the city in the sky.
There is a sky in a town in the sky in Skyward Sword, yes. Yeah, so I think in the new one it would be awesome if there was like a heaven type area and like a, I guess, hell or underworld type area. That'd be really interesting. Like not as big as the overworld, but something still somewhat sizable.
Yeah, I just thought it would be cool, like the city in the sky and like the Twilight Realm and everything. In Twilight Princess weren't just dungeons, but there was a little bit of a village or something there that you could go around. Really, it's just like, oh, in the city in the sky, there's a shop. Yay!
Is that all I have to say about like the overworld?
Yeah.
I kind of want to move on to items here, right? So the first thing, which I think they're already selling, is I want heavy use on bow. I want them to make the bow an important thing in the game and really emphasize that.
Like, do you think it will, though, from what we've seen? They've kept showing us Link using the bow, and we've barely seen him swing a sword, much less seen the sword at all. It's just been attached to Epona with all of Link's other equipment. Do you think they're trying to purposefully show us Link uses the bow this time? That's like a really strong weapon, and we have the slow motion thing and everything. I kind of feel like they're trying to hint at, like, the bow is something important this time.
And I really hope so, because the bow is, like, it's a signature item of the Zelda series, but I feel like most players don't really use it. Like, I actually, like, really use it all the time, and I'm always out of arrows and have to try and collect more. Like, it's an important part to my dungeoning of Zeldas.
Like, every time I'm running through the overworld in Twilight Princess, and I see one of those boblins sitting up on the, whatever, I don't know what they're called, the little structures by the that are at the ends of each side of the bridges. I always, while I'm running towards the bridge with Epona, try and aim and shoot off the guy at the boblin from a distance, because I just enjoy practicing shooting enemies from a distance in that game, and shooting keys and everything out of the air. And
another thing, right? I want... Actually, I mean it this time, Skyward Sword.
Yeah.
You could upgrade your items by collecting materials and going to the guy in like the plaza shop place in the main town. and upgrade them. I want that, right? More item collecting, upgrading weapons. I also want more customizing. It'd be interesting if you could like do different things to like you could have like maybe a flame boomerang or like an air wind boomerang like in the Twilight Princess. You could actually like customize more of your items,
Yeah,
make a more unique
I think
setup.
I want them to do like what Skyward Sword did.
Actually, Skyward Sword.
Yeah, I almost said Twilight Princess.
Yeah,
I want them to do like what Skyward Sword did, like you said, but I want them to do more than that. I want it to be a more immersive experience of upgrading, like you said. And I don't know, maybe they're doing something like that. Think about it. Like, we saw Link had that different type of arrow, right? Maybe that's something that you craft, like to get a really strong arrow. Like maybe if you destroy some of those more sci-fi style enemies and take them down.
Zero Dawn whip off, clearly.
Maybe if you take down some of those stronger enemies like that, you'll actually get resources from taking them down, and then you can use those, you know, like collectibles, like that are in Zelda games a lot. And then those types of more electronic collectibles you get, you can actually use to put it onto some arrows, and then boom, now you have a few arrows that can do this like laser attack thing. And another thing is like we've seen Link in some of the earlier trailers with his little sword, but in that little clip they gave us in a Nintendo Direct, I don't remember when,
on the November one, I believe,
something like that. Link had a bigger sword. It looked like a big
claymore.
It looked like a big two-handed sword.
Yeah, it did.
So I don't know what that's about, but maybe if you can actually like give Link different ability, like not like different ability. If you can
different abilities,
if you can give Link more equipment and really choose like how his equipment is going to be in the game and really change your game up like that, that'd be pretty interesting. I don't know if they'd go that far, but it'd be interesting to see that.
It was one of my points too. That I had is I hope that is a thing where you get to use different items. Like you're not just stuck with your normal kind of sword. You get to use like obviously more items, like different weapons. And you get to use like a claymore, like a slower, more powerful weapon if you want, or you can use like maybe a rapier, a normal sword, or maybe like a mace or something, like, you know, have a more wider range of weapons. That'd be really awesome. Now, another thing that Skyward Sword did particularly, I really want to see a strong emphasis on is lots of awesome and interesting characters. Just think of like Groose and stuff from Skyward Sword. Like that's what I want more of, really awesome characters that have awesome moments in the story and in side quests and stuff like that.
Okay, well, speaking of characters, let's bring up a point that people talk about a lot. Different controversy about it. I think generally people are more accepting of it now. Maybe it's just the people that I've seen. How would you feel about voice acting finally coming in?
I'd be fine with it. I'd be even fine with Link being voiced.
Yeah,
I don't need it. I'd be perfectly fine if Zelda just stayed the way it is, but I'd be perfectly fine with voice acting.
I feel like if they do voice acting, their best bet is to do it in a game that's not quite as realistic style as Twilight Princess, and go for something more like Wind Waker or like this. There's kind of like an anime style to it.
Yeah,
I feel like that has a better chance of like actually working well. Like I don't know. It's hard to explain, but I just feel like if they had the more cartoony style, they could do it better. Pull it off better on there. I don't know, because I mean, it worked. The voice acting I think is so good in like Kid Icarus Uprising and stuff.
Yeah, it was really good voice acting.
I mean, the thing is, I know people are gonna get so mad about it. Whatever Nintendo of America does to the translation of that game, people are gonna be mad about it no matter what at this point.
Because I mean, everyone is an expert at everything when they want to be. Clearly.
Like, if there's not, oh no, there's not dual audio in this game. What the heck, Nintendo of America? What are you doing? It's like, okay, well, it doesn't need that. You could just import it if you want to not understand what they're saying.
Yeah, I mean, it's very much an option.
Okay, I know that.
I know people like to not understand what they're saying, but...
Okay, I know we're just over-exaggerating here. Like, I know there would actually be subtitles or whatever, but still, it's not the biggest deal if there's not dual audio or something.
With characters, I also want great villain, like a great villain or great villains.
That was something that I was going to ask you. Do you think it's time for Ganon to come back?
No. Kill him. I don't want Ganon ever back again, to be honest. Maybe in 2D games, I don't want him back in 3D, in my 3D games actually like try a little bit more of story. I don't think Ganon's needed.
But look, it's been 10 years since Ganon was in a console Zelda game.
He's been overused.
Almost 10 years ago.
He doesn't need to come back. I want to see a Zant or a Ganon without a Ganon type character.
Wait. This game has more of like an anime style to it, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be...
Vaati?
Yes.
Vaati.
Imagine Vaati in this same style.
Yes, best villain, most underappreciated.
I know he's been in quite. Actually, he's probably one of the most returning villains outside of Ganon.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be so awesome to see Vati in his human form in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, like, Vati has like the whole wind theme to it, which I think could work out really
Yeah, it would
well
be
for this
awesome in the field.
for the overworld and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like tornadoes and everything, that kind of stuff.
It would be really awesome. I'm glad you brought that up because he is very underappreciated and underused.
I'd love to see the way he looks in his human form in this style.
I know. Oh, that'd be so awesome.
Just style in general. I love the way Link looks in here. I think this looks 10 times, 100 times better than that E3 tech demo we got.
Yeah.
Way back before the Wii U released.
I mean, even like you can even go ahead and look at like the initial trailer for this game even. And the gameplay footage they first showed at the Video Game Awards, and look at like the 10 seconds they showed after Twilight Princess in the November Direct, and you can see like even this game has gotten better looking than when they first showed it. I mean, that's really exciting. I think the game looks awesome. I'm really excited to like fully see it. Another extremely important thing. Extreme clipping. I don't mind clipping. Like you walk against a wall and your sword or something clips into it, right? When we were watching the gameplay from the Video Game Awards before we recorded this, I noticed when Link was on his horse, his cape was flapping through his shield that was also on his back. This annoys me in Zelda games. For normal animations, things should not clip through each other.
Like, Nintendo doesn't care, Luke. Like, we saw there in that trailer, like, his cape just goes right through his shield and sword and everything. But not only that, but you look at Splatoon, if you use the female Inkling, or the girl Inkling, whatever you want to call her hair tentacles go through her hands and stuff all the time. It's
hair
really...
tentacles. Yeah.
Well, I mean, anyway. How many dungeons do you think are going to be in this one? Twilight Princess had the most dungeons, and Wind Waker had, like, the least amount, like, going by the 3D Zelda games.
I hope, judging by the fact that it's a big world, bigger than any other one, it would seem, that it has a hefty amount, hopefully more than any other Zelda game. Maybe not a lot more, but maybe like at least matches. Like, what's the most dungeons in a Zelda game? Probably like 8
let me
7.
think.
Okay, so there's 9 dungeons of Twilight Princess if you count the final area. So say 9. So I hope there's say 10, 11, or even 12, and then optional like side ones. How many do you want?
I don't know.
Are you on board with the idea of having like smaller side ones?
I think if they do smaller side ones, then I'll just go with the traditional amount.
So like maybe 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, more reasonable.
But if they don't do all those side, like, smaller ones, like we were talking about, like maybe the size of like the Ice Cavern from Ocarina of Time and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If they do stuff like that, then 8 sounds good to me. If they don't do those, then I would kind of like to have like 1 or 2 more, because it would be really, really awesome. Just this massive world, I feel like it needs more dungeons. But
it does. It's a big world.
If the dungeons are really big and really, really good, then it's quality over quantity.
And I mean, hopefully, it's a big world, so there's gonna be lots of collectibles, and hopefully there's lots of side quests and meaningful side quests with like a side story and stuff too. So maybe that would like high over from like there just being an average amount of dungeons for a big world.
So like, I was just thinking about this. In Twilight Princess, they have a lot of stringed-in story between going around through the overworld.
Which a lot of people don't like.
You think they're going to do that this time? Or do you think this is really going to be, you're this overworld, you go around in this overworld, you find things in the overworld, boom. But they could do that, but how would they incorporate the story into it then? How big of a role is the story going to be in this one versus other games?
That's what I've been thinking about. Should it be a more important story, like, Twilight Princess had a lot of story things in between dungeons, especially the earlier ones, and Skyward Sword had a lot of stuff in between dungeons too. And I like that story stuff. I'm thinking, should they do that again, or should they do like the Bethesda style of like Skyrim and Fallout, where it's like not as heavily emphasized on the main story? It's probably like one of the longer quests, but it's basically like just a more dramatic one of the side quests.
See, I'm conflicted on that idea, because...
And then there's a bunch of side quests. Like, I don't know which one I'd prefer.
Because I feel like I think I would miss the more grand story in it this time, if they did it like that. But at the same time, this time they need to give us the freedom to explore.
Yeah.
And like, if they just say, oh, now it's time to go here, oh, now it's time to go here,
Mm-hmm.
like, you might not need to do that. You could say, oh, somebody told me to go here, but I'm just going to forget about them and go screw off over here.
Screw them.
So we were talking about equipment. What are you looking at me like that for? Like, they don't know what we were talking about between when we cut out. You don't need to look at me like that. So we were talking about equipment a lot before.
What a clown.
Think about Lucas. Think about Lucas.
That's sad. You know, he's floaty in Smash because he doesn't have a family weighing him down. Ow! That hurt.
Yeah. It probably hurt him. The amiibo is right there.
What were you saying about items or something?
So we were talking about items and them being equipable and everything before, but something we didn't talk about was magic.
Magic.
Are they going to do something more with magics this time? Like, I think that'd be really
I
interesting.
hope it comes back.
Like, just do what Ocarina of Time did, but do a little bit more of it. Oh, it's like an equipable item, but it's like a magic spell. I think that would be really, really awesome.
Yeah.
Just to see more of that and being able to power up your magic too. Like, maybe you find a fairy fountain and oh, now that lets you power up one of your spells and you can choose which one to power up or something like that. I don't know. I just think that'd be pretty cool to see magic focused again.
Well, also another thing we mentioned earlier about maybe having different kind of weapons you can use, right?
Mm-hmm.
Another possibility is maybe having different kind of clothes. Maybe it's not just your green tunic, which we haven't even seen the green tunic yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what if you can even get weird amiibo gear as optional things? Get Lucas's hair.
That'd be really weird.
That'd be awesome, Lucas's hair on Link.
Well,
I mean, in general, do you think actually it should like be somewhat of a customizable character you can like play as a female Link even if you want to?
That's a really hard question for me.
Is it now?
I mean, if you ask me, I don't care if they make Link a brown-haired girl. Like,
what's the color of the hair?
Well, Link used to be brown-haired, but now he's blonde.
Okay.
I don't care if they make him right-handed, brown hair, and make him a girl. As long as he has a really cool design, or she,
it. Link. Linkle.
Oh, not Linkle. That's a horrible name. Linkle is a completely different character from Link, and has a horrible name, so don't name your character Linkle if there's a female option.
Anyways, anything else? Were we on something? Were you saying something? Oh yeah, so you were saying something about that. Just don't care as long as it has a good design.
Yeah. And then you said, never mind.
Don't bring it up.
The only other thing I can really think of is it'd be really cool to see a musical instrument return again.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to happen.
Trumpet.
We had it in Skyward.
Heavenly trumpet. That's what we say.
You brought up like amiibo for costumes. I don't really think they're going to do that.
No. What do you think they're going to do?
I mean, I say there could be. There will probably be different tunics. We've seen Link not in his green tunic, but I'm sure he's going to have his green tunic. Wouldn't be the first
I never say you're sure.
I'm sure.
Wow.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time Link had different tunics and stuff like that. I mean, you've had the Goron and Zora tunics in Ocarina of Time, and you had the Zora tunic in Twilight Princess, and those both played a pretty big role in the gameplay of the games. So, especially
looked best in Twilight Princess.
Yeah, especially in Twilight Princess because it actually let you swim more in there. Which is so much better than just needing to use your iron boots to sink and then take them off to hover again, like in Ocarina. But yeah, some kind of instrument would be pretty cool in here, but it's not really that necessary. Like we just had what was it in Skyward Sword? The harp.
Harp. Yeah, that was a nice item. I'm all in for a trumpet.
Well,
or a harmonica. Whoa!
Ow! Okay, what away.
No one knows what just happened to us. My computer screen just got really bright for a moment.
It wasn't your computer. It was all of our amiibo.
It was all of our amiibo. Yeah, that was blind. Anyways,
they always are.
What are you saying?
I don't know.
Okay, so when we move on to this, right? Two more things, right?
Mm-hmm.
One, will there be a Zelda series of amiibo?
Probably.
I hope so. They have like the base and everything from the Wolf Link one. I hope they release a full set of amiibo for the Zelda series of the game.
What do you? By the way, before you quickly, before you move on,
quickly.
Quickly, before you move on,
okay.
what do you think the Wolf Link amiibo is going to do when you take your Twilight Princess data over?
Maybe that's how you get the Claymore.
So what do you think the Twilight Princess
Actually, you know what would be awesome? Is if it put you in a Twilight-themed dungeon, a mini dungeon. It's Twilight-themed, you get some kind of reward for going to the end. That would be cool. That's what I want.
Remember when people got excited about the amiibo unlocking a dungeon in Twilight Princess?
Well, it was a remake, come on. An actual mini dungeon, come on. Wouldn't it be cool?
So if that happened, would more people be mad that amiibo have content and they need to buy this amiibo to get that content? Not only the amiibo, but Twilight Princess and the amiibo? Or would people be happy because their amiibo is actually doing something that's really cool?
You know, people are going to be upset because they're locked, because content is locked in them because they don't have the amiibo. And people need to calm down. There's going to be amiibo content. I don't know what you expect. So, if you don't have anything else to do, I have one more very important point to bring up.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be important.
Lots, and I mean lots.
Like lots?
Okay, I'm also confused by something I wrote down. Better and long on number 7. Well, I don't know what that means. I also think I deleted what I was going to say, but I remember it. I hope there's lots of weeb trash. Lots of stupid weeb trash. I hope all the Fire Emblem characters are in there too. It's actually a Fire Emblem game. Weeb trash is necessary. I am joking.
So,
but weeb trash. Come on. Purple hair.
So just for
Warriors.
bringing this up, can I punch you in the face and then you edit in like the big smack sound?
You're right, gonna edit in the big smack sound.
You're the one editing it.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Ready?
Oh god, no, we said such a... Oh.
It really is how believable. You can't just go, oh.
I think that's more believable.
Yeah, because if I punch you across the face, you'd be like, ow. Ready? Ready?
Ow. Okay, one more time. Oh!
Cat? I'm fired.
Anything else to say? Because this video is running way too long.
Well, we're gonna edit so much. Oh, you're gonna edit.
It's almost 40 minutes. Oh god. It's still gonna be a long one though, even with editing stuff out.
I think there's gonna be a lot to take out.
Okay. I think that's all we have to say. The beeping I mentioned in the beginning, nothing has exploded yet. So hopefully we'll still be alive by the time we can make another video.
Actually, whatever it is, I haven't heard it this whole time.
We are going to hopefully plan on doing more regular content. Right? Maybe. Well, our hope is to do weekly, but that will probably fail again, and we'll go for another like multiple month hiatus or something. We're gonna try. No one cares anyway, so.
I care.
Yeah, no one cares about you.